Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Fate Weaver tonight, because tonight we are carrying on with our holiday campaign playing Brian Vernier's awesome Blackbirds Gothic Fantasy RPG. And with me tonight is a smaller flock than last time, but the stars of tonight's Blackbirds of Yule session, Chapter 4 of this session. I'll go the order, I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight. First up is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David. I'll be playing Roland Highgate, a follower of the Path of Bow and Blade who focuses on the crossbow.
Nice. Next up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Alaric Stone, and he is the doctor, and like a lot of doctors, he's just not good at treating himself.
Yeah. Oh boy, there is some stuff you got to learn about from this morning's session, Dave. And last, but certainly not least, is Dave.
Hey everybody, good to see you all. I am playing Gita of Vayan, and she is also on the Path of Bow and Blade.
Nice. So, guys, David and Jeffrey, how would you like to fill in Dave for what happened at this morning's session? Apart from, what's her name's, Adelaide's sword being melted.
Sure. Yeah, we started out with meeting
of our patron.
Visiting with our patron for the people who hadn't been there to stock up on their gear. But someone made a critical failure and got us kicked out of the inn and got his patron level lowered by 1. So now we're living in tents and eating crappy food.
Yep.
And then we met Valentin's men, who escorted us wonderfully through the sewers to get into the city. Mm-hmm. So that was just exceptionally beautiful and smelly and wonderful. And of course, well down there, we ran into the, what are they called? The Children of Koros?
Children of Anhelios.
Or Anhelios, that's it. They are horrible undead who like to puke on you with their acidic vomit that destroys your metal weapons. And they did just that to Adeliza and destroyed her longsword. Mm-hmm. But we did manage to dispatch them. But while traveling through the sewers, we also managed to contract an illness. Well, at least Alaric did. He managed to protect everyone else from it, but in his task of doing so, he contracted some kind of illness, which he is now concerned may be the disease that causes this undead curse.
Yes.
Then we arrived. Well, actually, first we had found that the 2 of the men who were helping us through the sewers were killed by these undead threats. So then when we met with Valentine, he was already in a bit of a pissy mood as we had cost him 2 of his men just to parley with him.
So here was Valentine Nicel.
And his wife, sister, girlfriend, we're not sure.
He's not nearly as great as he was before.
And there's Evie.
The sadistic. And they wanted us to turn over Nigel. That was the agreement they first tried for, but we decided that wasn't the direction we wanted to go. And so he instead told us that he's not a baron, was he? He was a lord?
No, he would be technically a lord.
The lord, I don't remember his name. His daughter was...
I don't think I put it in chat or in the Discord.
Girlfriend. His daughter was to be married to the prince who fled, Lord Thurston Blundell, and his daughter is the one that they have captured to be executed tomorrow morning?
At the New Moons.
Or at the New Moon, okay. And he said if the Lord Thurston was injured fleeing the city, and so he never made it out of the city. He was forced to seek refuge and heal up, and so he is still here somewhere in the city. And if we find him and bring him to Valentine, or give his location to Valentine, then he will forgive Nigel's transgressions and allow him to live. But we also talked about how the location of Lord Thurston could be of even more value than just for the breaking this feud between Nigel and Valentine, that the Baron himself or the Prince, depending on which faction we would want to please, would be even happier with the Lord. And so we could potentially use it as a bartering chip to increase our patron many levels rather than just help Nigel out of a jam. So it's kind of up in the air what we're going to do, but the first thing we were going to do is see if we could discover the location of Lord Thurston and sort of acquire this valuable knowledge.
Yeah,
so that's sort of where we're at.
You guys had discussed some strategies for how to approach that as well, too. Do you guys remember what those were?
Just for Dave's benefit, he's being aided by one of Valentine's former associates.
Yes.
So they've not found him yet, but he's in the district we're currently in.
So that is something. Yeah, one thing is you guys did not ask in the last session who that was, but what you can do is using fortune points. Remember, you can spend fortune to sort of use Erd's voice to alter something about or to retroactively turn a situation in your favor.
Right.
So if you wanted to ask about that, you certainly could. It'll just cost you a fortune point.
Right. I don't know what you guys think. Probably that was decent information to have.
Yep.
Yeah, let's spend the fortune point.
Okay. Getting things off on the right footing. Get some misfortune
getting some going over there.
Love it. Then, I believe we're getting pretty close, but I was very close to a record high with 12 misfortune today, Dave. So, what he has told you is that the name of the guy is Atwell Stoke, and I'll tell you. Here we go. Atwell Stoke is the name of the former, the person formerly in the employ of what's his name, of Valentine, who he said that he suddenly got political. So, since you're spending the fortune point to edit that scene, why don't you guys each give us a scrutinize check, please. Okay. Standard difficulty, please.
Oops.
Let's just see what. There we go. Oh, let me roll my thing here.
No.
It's under perception. That's what I was looking for too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alaric and Gita, there was no critical failure there, and this guy is likely a pretty good liar. Roland, what is your PB?
6.
6. Okay, so that's a pretty good bonus, but he is a pretty good liar. So, does anyone want to spend fortune points to re-roll? So what you're going to be comparing is your degrees of success to the guile of Valentine.
Oh, right.
Combined success, or are we looking to aid?
No, each individually. You're not aiding one another. You're each individually rolling.
Just pulling out information from our heads, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could re-roll, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, you get the best chance, I think, of the scrutinize.
Yeah, here we go.
Oop.
I mean, roll 20 also dislikes me a lot, so...
Just been having no luck at all today.
Yeah, critical failure. Look at that.
I think Jeff opened up with a 99 as his first roll today.
That was wonderful.
Oh my goodness! All right,
He's starting to think Valentine wants to be his friend.
I think that here's the question. I think maybe that's lingering in Alaric's mind after that is just, you know, what is going to stop this guy from killing you guys if you're not willing to help, or if he's not willing to help you. He's asked you to betray Nigel. He didn't seem too fussed over two of his men being torn apart by the children of Angelios in the sewers. And, you know, so you may find yourself a little, you know, out of your depth, as it were, Alaric. So that's maybe what is going on with your scrutinize roll there.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Now, so Alaric woke up and you have one level of peril right now. Gita and Roland, if you have any peril, you can reduce it by 1. I don't know if you have any peril conditions yet. If you're, I don't think, Gita, you don't have any damage conditions, right? You're fully healed?
She's unhindered and unharmed.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, so
Perfect.
You're good. All right, so then, with that in context, you got a name, at least, of the guy who has betrayed. What are you guys, what were the strategies you guys were talking about? Because I think there were some good ideas being batted around there.
Yeah, we talked about trying to use the fact that he needed to be healed to locate him. And we thought maybe that because Evie was kind of such an evil healer, that would be part of the reason that him and his people were locked out of that circle of knowledge. And it was also suggested that the church of the Serpent Circle, or what's it called?
Serpent and Cycle.
Serpent and Cycle.
Could be another place because they were in power, correct?
Yeah. The Church of the World Serpent, or the Church of the Temple of the Serpent and Cycle, has been the, you know, for generations has been the temple or the faith in Calvadine, and they are, you know, the Blundells are an old family, so it stands to reason that they wouldn't be following the fad of this new faith, and likely have connections to the Church of the Serpent and Cycle, just like the Baron did up until very recently. Any other ideas? I mean, that's pretty good.
Those were the
point.
two I remember.
Okay.
And I know Alaric was quite keen on, you know, looking into this healer or the church or whatever, because he'd like to try and get access to an alchemical lab. So
Yeah, you need a laboratory to put together something to treat your lung disease.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me show you where our session... Oh, go ahead.
It's grim, but there's hope.
There is potential hope here. Let me... Okay, I was just going to paste properly. Look at that, almost. I'm getting closer to when I cut and paste shit to having it in the right place instead of posting way the hell off my screen. Let me bring you over to the Caravan District. Guys, here we go. So, you are, Gita, waking up in a relatively secure ruin of a building. You guys are in the part of the Caravan District, or you're in the part of Calvadine that was the site of that siege, where the walls fell in that one section and they devastated that one region. Snow has fallen everywhere. You're cold, but there is some food that has been brought with you, maybe? Excuse me, my goodness. Then, guys, what do you wish to do first today?
I don't know.
Should we try and find a healer and or priest?
Yeah, I think let's see. Yeah. Whatever we come across first, I guess. There's not really...
Okay.
That one strategy is more...
So which is
kind
it?
of-
Are you asking about the priests of the... And you guys can do this separately. Well, this will be rumor. checks. I'm assuming you're asking around trying to...
Right, trying to locate. So the church would be hidden at this point, correct?
No. The church itself, it's just... The church, there are 5 districts in Calwadine. There is the temple district, where the temple is, and then like supporting things. The crypts happen to be there too, so effectively both the winter crypts, which have been given over to the cult of the crow, and right across from that in a square is the Temple of the Serpent and Cycle. They're still here, it's just they have very much fallen out of favor, and recently the ruler has turned against them. So they're still here. It just so there's the Temple District, the Market District, the Craft District, the Old District where the rich folks all live, and there is the Caravan District, which is now really the ruins. This is where remember when you saw that collapse in the stone wall, Dave, when you got here, and there was the wooden palisade that was put up to replace it? You're in the district that's on the other side of where that wall fell, where invaders were able to get in and wreak havoc at some point. This is also where the visitors who are willing to pay the crow's bounty and enter the city, this is where they've been settling. The folks in Calwadine have been forcing them in here. There is also a fairly, relatively speaking, a fairly large Jotunkin part, or what do you call it, kind of camp here. And I think I've got, let's see here, did I remember to load it? Look at that. Attaboy, Madison.
So we hid out in the Caravan District overnight, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, you're in the Caravan District, and this is, for those who may not know, there are the Jotunkin. They are 12 feet tall.
Ouch.
So that's what's been stomping around in the district as well. So, what are you guys thinking?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Just mingle with, because almost everyone here is new arrivals, right? The people that have come in recently, so we just mingle with them, pretend to have an old war wound or something, or just ask for a healer.
So what do we do? This
giving anything away about Valentine, and just pretend that you're injured, or that we're for like a comrade who got injured, just the usual sort of just arrived looking for a healer. Can anyone recommend anyone?
So you're restricting your questions to just about the healer itself, not about the Baron, Lord Blundell.
Right, of course. Yeah, we don't want to mention him. We just want to start by trying to get to the healers.
You got it. Yep. So let's do this. Let's have one person will take the lead and 2 will aid. You're all going to suffer the penalties of critical fails anyway, so...
Right, this is the...
1d10, so this will be rumor. I think it's under fellowship.
Yeah. Does anyone have any training in rumor? I don't think so. No, we're not that type of people. I have a 48 though. Is this one flipped to fail, or is it?
Nope, it's a common skill.
Oh, it's a common skill. Okay. Yeah, I have a 48 in fellowship. I don't know what you guys.
Better than me.
I will probably have to help.
Okay, sure. I'll make the main roll, and you guys can assist.
Which your talent that allows you to do charm and intimidate, right? Not.
Yeah, rumor's not in that.
Okay. All right.
Rumor's not available.
So then Alaric is going to take the lead, and then Roland and Gita, if you could each give us a D10 roll, please. So go ahead whenever you're ready, guys.
So
and standard difficulty.
Yeah. What?
81 or 71 or 01 or a sublime success.
Oh!
Look at that!
Wow!
So what happens is, let me just get a handout.
Amazing. That is not even possible for us.
So I mentioned the houses of healing before in the context of Evie. Evie was a member of the houses of healing. Let's see here.
There we go. Let's get you healed.
Let's see here. Oh, where is it?
So how is the
undead plague style, Alaric has not shown us his bite mark.
Well, I think he picked it up. He's not sure quite yet. But he picked it up from outside when he was dealing with. He was trying to administer to those kids.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't even in the sewers. It was before that.
It just the sewers gave a greater urgency or concern over what might be the infection.
Yeah, right.
He critically failed his toughness check when they were moving through the plague part of the camp. So what at first you see is there are two Jotunkin who are kind of moving along. One is walking, the other one seems to be dragging something. So you guys are out. You've talked to maybe one or two groups of very standoffish. Actually, not. You rolled quite well. So you've made some good impressions on people. I think, Alaric, maybe you offer a little bit of minor medicinal suggestions or advice for people. Some common thing. You're not necessarily giving up any of your supplies, but just offering some advice. And what you've heard about is. It's curious. There is apparently someone who is servicing this, a Meister from the Houses of Healing. And they call his name is Meister Zorzi. And the thing that, in addition to being a very generous for someone to come out and use expensive medicines to keep people safe, the curious thing is he's accompanied by two Jotunkin. One that seems to serve as a bodyguard and one that seems to serve as a porter, dragging his wagon along. And it's about mid-morning when you guys are maybe talking about what you're seeing. When Gita, you were the one who's sort of like, hey, and you point out, and what you see is, as you expected, two, big, towering Jotunkin walking along with a man with a long beard, with some robes on with different markings and filigree on it. There's, like you see, quills at the waist. There's notes that are down, and he seems to be idly puffing away on a pipe as he's walking along. They're walking along in silence too. He seems completely unperturbed by the towering companions that he has. What do you guys do?
I guess we start by approaching them.
Okay. So as the three of you start walking over, one of the Jotunkin steps forward and kind of growls and then hoists the massive axe you see in his hand. And again, that axe is about the size of you guys. So he... And the man says in accented... I can't remember what the common tongue is called in Blackbirds, but in an accented language, or accented version, he says, Hold, Halbjorn, hold, Halbjorn. We don't know who they are. Hello?
Hello. I'm a fellow healer.
Oh.
New to these lands.
Indeed. And he looks at the two people with you, the tall burly woman and the crossbow wielding man. It says, I don't recognize your face, friend. Are you from... Did the houses send you?
No. We're from, I don't know, names, some farther away land probably that I'm from.
Yeah, elsewhere in Elkland, I think, is where you're from.
Elsewhere in Elkland, yes. We're new here to this place.
Oh, you are...
And looking to make friends, of course. And...
Well, there is much sickness here. If you intend to help, then there is much that could be done with one of your skills. Tell me, where were you trained?
I don't know. what you would say.
Does
Probably,
Alaric even remember?
On the road, maybe, like, you know.
Yeah, okay. Why don't you give us each, let's see here, give us a folklore check, and this will be routine, so plus 10, please.
Just Jeff, or?
All of you guys. You guys can all hear this guy. I'm just curious whether any of you can pick up or place his accent.
Ooh.
Roland cannot. Well, Eric, you can. So it'll be routine plus 10 for Gita. Yeah. So Gita and Alaric, both of you can place. It's an accent from Corbel. This man must originally be from the island nation of Corbel, far to the south.
Oh. You seem to have traveled far for your friend.
Years ago, I have tried to lose. Once I realized I could not lose the accent, I left it. But it betrays me each time. I have been in Colwardine for many, many decades. And I hope you, with not any gestures around the ruined, judge this as what has come. These are rough times for Colwardine, and forgive my manners. It is a pleasure to meet another healer. I am Justo Zorzi, Meister.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Alaric Stone. These are my companions.
He introduces himself to both of you. Was there healing you required?
Yes, you speak of the illness here, and unfortunately, in an effort to tend some children, I feel I have caught it myself. And I was hoping to find access new to the area. Of course, I do not have access to a alchemical lab, and I was hoping to find a fellow healer kind enough to allow me to use theirs to heal myself, as I'm no use to the people here if I die myself.
No, nor if you spread the sickness. One moment, Master Stone. And he goes over to the cart, and as he walks over, the Jotunkin who's been dragging this thing, it appears to be like, you can picture a wagon, like four-wheeled wagon, but with almost like an enormous tackle box with a lid on it that's sealed with two big handles on the top. The Jotunkin grabs the handles and opens them up, and it basically deploys an entire like alchemical lab that he's dragging along. Zorzi grabs a couple of, or Meister Zorzi grabs a couple of, medicinal tools. He comes over and then quickly does an inspection on you.
Yeah, okay.
He listens to your lungs.
Yeah.
And he says, I think in your lungs, no?
Yes, it is in the lungs, for sure.
Are you familiar with this sickness?
No.
Let me put your mind at ease. You're correct that you have been infected, but it is early. And he walks over, and he kind of like carefully looks up and down the vials. He grabs one. He grabs some powder from another, and then he grabs a piece of what do you call it? Like maybe it's like cotton or something similar. Puts it into, mix all the stuff up in a pestle, the liquid, the powder, and then he places the cotton in there, and it absorbs everything from it. And he plucks it out with a pair of metal tweezers. He walks over and he says, "Open."
Yeah, I'll open my mouth.
Places it on your tongue, and he says, "Swallow."
Yeah, I do it.
That should stifle the growth. You should be fine. A day or so, and your lungs will clear.
I greatly appreciate it, and I'll pull out my poppy seed pods that I got from...
And he gestures, no thanks necessary. There are many who are... by keeping you healthy, not only do we prevent the spread, we also have one other healer who might assist the unfortunates who are in here. And the fewer... It took some convincing, but by convincing the lords that sickness within the caravan district will spread was all they needed to convince, to part with the coins necessary to fund this. So.
Yeah. Speaking of such transactions of coins, I see we've heard there's been lots of upheaval here in the city.
Oh.
The prince, the baron, the lords displaced.
So he's kind of looking at you. Are you trying to hide anything about your interest or your...
No, he's not really. Just that he's,
Okay. So he, those blue eyes of his are studying you and studying your allies. Yes, it's been quite, it has been a challenging time here. Though, everywhere I hear in Elkland.
And being new to the city, we are looking to find a foothold, a place to stay, and a patron to support.
Oh, there are many in search of such things. Yes,
one that would make a better world.
Yes, well, if you wish only for better worlds, we have two competing faiths now to choose from. Do you pray to the snake or do you pray to the bird? What I know is I can offer my assistance in what skills I have and prey on the self-interest of lords to keep those, to do that work. You can each give us a scrutinize check.
Yeah, we're trying to feel out if he's got a leaning one way or another, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good roll, Gita.
Critical success.
Ooh.
So, Alaric, what you can tell, especially with educated types, and Gita, you get a sense of a little bit of this as well, too. What Gita, the level that you understand this at is, I think, he seems to be intentionally non-committal about any of the things, right? He's uncertain as to, and knowing that there is a secret police apparently active here now, may give you, give anyone with anything to lose good reason to try and hold off on being too forthright about what side you're going to throw yourself, behind, or shit talking the Baron, for that matter. But it also seems, Alaric, the way he talked about that, the things that stand out in your mind is the fact that he says this is the way things have gone. And there was... I'm trying to think of how he would phrase it. He would have said... I think he references the... a sudden change. Such sudden changes are not unheard of, or a common problem. And that just strikes you because one of the things, I guess there's two things you can draw from this. For one, the amount of completely out of the blue betrayals that have led to further conflict in Elkland. I mean, you could fill pages or fill books with the list of these things. There are sons who betray fathers, daughters who betray there's just lifelong allies who will suddenly on a dime change. The reliance with which, or the reliability of which you can expect any kind of long-term alliance to suddenly fall apart and fall into conflict is almost... it's almost the only dependable thing that you can rely on in the past 12 years. And to the point where it's inconceivable of this actually happening this often. If you weren't living it and having to deal with the misery that comes from constant war, maybe you would spend more time thinking of wait, how the fuck is this happening? How is everyone turning on one another at the moments where things could suddenly turn. And you know as well, too, as an educated person, Alaric, when someone is sort of feeling out whether it's safe to talk beyond just generalities.
Right.
This is a man who is, he definitely is a, you know, it's from what he said, Culwadine is his home, but he is a foreigner. And anyone from here will never let him forget that. So someone who is, even though he has called this place his home for that long, you need to be careful that they don't just easily label you as a traitor or outsider or someone who is acting for outside forces. You have been in that place, I think, before yourself.
Right.
So there is this bit of knowing, because you rolled a critical success. That's what you can tell, is that if you carefully navigate the conversation, he may be more willing to talk to you, and perhaps out of view. It's unusual for him for this one guy to have two Jotunkin with him. That's really unusual as well.
I think that maybe we'll just back to the conversation. Just start by saying, you know, if you had time, we could go somewhere, and he sort of, you know, looks as if anyone could hear us here, sort of indicates we're just in the street or whatever, somewhere to speak, maybe speak of healing, what could be done here.
Okay.
If you have time, you know, sort of at his leisure.
Yeah. He sort of, you know, holds your eyes for a moment or so, puffing on on the pipe, and he says, "I could perhaps sit for a moment." And he turns and Hjalbron Moldov, and he says something in Jotunkin that I don't think any of you necessarily speak. We haven't done languages for anyone yet, but I'll assume you guys don't speak it. What's up, Goober?
I don't think people would have chosen that one necessarily.
So they close up the thing, and they both sit down, and they begin slowly talking to one another in Jotunkin. And he walks over, leaning on a staff, and then sort of sits down on a bit of rubble, you know, to puff away. And he says, "Oh, that feels good. We've been going from camp to camp all day. So, you have been looking. I see there are 3 of you. Did you pay the crow's bounty to come in, or did you...
Of course, that is something we definitely do not see eye to eye with the bird on.
They are new here, but desperate years will play heavily. And truth told, I fear that the gods no longer answer any of us.
Oh, you know what? I wonder. So I think that I'm gonna activate my godling ability.
Sure.
And I have one that makes a physical change. The mother of the wolf makes his eyes glow.
Okay.
So he'll activate this. It has no good game effect right now because it helps you with
see
night
the dark,
vision or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's doing it and then he's going to say, you know, the gods are still among us in some ways, and then sort of activate this power to sort of show that.
So his eyes go wide, but he doesn't startle or move terribly.
Yeah.
And he says, "What are you? A Theurg?"
No. I am, as I say, a healer.
We all have gifts.
We are all, me and my companions, do we call ourselves the Blackbirds?
Or
do we have some kind of name or anything?
I don't think that's the way that's not necessarily what they refer to him in the universe, I don't think.
Yeah, okay. We've all been touched by the gods, I think I would say. Me and my group of friends, because we share these dreams, these strange dreams. So,
Anna,
me and my companions here and several more that we travel with have all been touched by the gods. And we seek to bring peace and goodness back to this world in its turmoiled times.
Sorry, Dave, what were you saying?
Oh, I just, Gita doesn't talk much, but she chimed in that we all have been given gifts of some kind.
Yeah, and he looks up at you, and I'm going to make a scrutinize check for him. So he studies you. I'm going to see, because of Gita's unique heritage as well. He looks at the sort of you. So you act for no faction, no individual.
No. We need to work with the factions to gain the resources we need to make a positive change, but we do not necessarily believe in their cause of creating power or wealth for themselves.
Then I tell you this, and will not repeat it. The Baron's son and the Baron's daughter both changed. What is not known is the prince tried to kill his father in terrible injuries, and the sister, the influence of this cult over her is the cult of the crow. They have had street preachers and such in the past, but it has truly has gripped her in a way that only true fanaticism can. She is not the woman I once knew, and the prince not the man I once knew. The Baron, I staunched his wounds myself. He, I know, was still the same. But the betrayal of his son and the prompting of his now fanatical daughter. You've heard of the shadows. They call them Tedric's shadows. They are the truth told, better understood as Good Luck's shadows. Lady Odalina Goodluck. She leads this hunt for more deceivers, more changed. The Baron will not say it publicly, but he claims his son was not his son. Something else attacked him. Other witnesses saw his son flee. So, whether trauma or other trick of memory has caused him to change things, one cannot say. But he is adamant that if his son is not who he says he is, who else may be a betrayer? And the grief of the betrayal leaves him unwilling to see that he may have two betraying offspring, not simply one. What I know is even when the walls fell, the Baron and his children stood strong. They repelled the armies of Harwood, of Lustow, and Duke Harwood, who the prince has fallen in with now. All of this, you see, Lustow's work. and the prince allies himself with them. So, this is the trouble we have had.
Yes.
Speaking of shadows, is anyone paying undue attention to this little powwow?
Oh, good question. Why don't you give us an awareness check, please?
Yeah, I like that you're keeping an eye out.
Okay. Make a check here. So as you're talking, something very curious. So, and again, you got the kind of William Tell, eagle eye here. And if this is not necessarily reflective of the specific place you guys are talking, and there's a lot more snow where you guys are, but picture somewhere way up in one of these like crumbling towers. You see a form with a fluttering cloak encasing it almost like a poncho, like a really long poncho. But the sun catches something on it. Let me show you who you see standing up there, Roland. And since it's early in the campaign, I get to start off the tradition of naming shit I'm never going to be able to find again. This is what you see looking down on you.
Oh. Yikes.
A
Indeed.
cowled and steel-masked man wearing a dark poncho that almost seems as feathers in the way it ends. And it looks like a long mane of perhaps horsehair. Something you would see on a helmet or something like that. That doesn't seem to be his hair. If so, if it is his hair, it is deeply dry and damaged. So this, he's trying his best to remain hidden, but perhaps you saw just a flutter of movement of like the tail end of his cape, and you look up and the sun just poked through the clouds enough for you to catch the reflection of his armor, of his mask.
Do you think they're close enough to listen in on our conversation, or are they just sort of in visual range?
With the way the wind is today and the distance, it's very unlikely. The Alaric and Meister Zorzi, they're not talking particularly loud, so it is extremely unlikely, but he definitely seems to be looking down and paying attention to what is happening with the four of you, I guess.
Without looking in his direction, and seeing as Alaric is busy talking to Demesta, I will look at Gita and just say something like, "The crows are paying attention from the rafters," and then my eyes would just sort of flicker up to where I spotted him, or her, or them.
Okay. Gita, you're trying to conceal looking up?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking about it.
I think it's going to be, let me see here.
Don't turn around now.
So I think that is stealth, I think. I'll see on this. Not skullduggery, really. It's not guile. So I think it's just stealth. Why don't you give us a stealth check? No modifier. Here we go. Come on. Big money. There you go.
Nice.
Pretty good. Pretty good. And Roland, would you give us a stealth roll as well? Please, just for you to have spoken to Gita and pointed that out. Okay. You want to fortune point that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not a critical fail, so. Okay. So the thing you see is that as Zorzi is talking to Alaric, I think they both sat down. Zorzi seems to have seen you comment in, and Gita, you do a great job of hiding sort of your eyes going up briefly and then back. And Zorzi looks up at you, Gita, and Roland, you're the one who was more obvious with it. He looks up at you and he says, "You saw him then?"
Yes.
That is Lady Goodluck's hunting hound, Lord Ivo Strackley.
Wait. Ivo. Haven't we heard of that name previously?
Ivo Strackley is what you guys heard about was him being effectively like the chief lieutenant for Tedric's Shadows for the Secret Police.
Yeah. So
I don't know if he's watching me or watching you.
Does he work for the Baron?
He does, yeah. Lady Goodluck.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Lady Goodluck is the head of the Secret Police. It's sort of like an open secret that she is the head of the Secret Police. And
Right.
what Nigel told you is that Ivo Strackley was always a bit of a, at least from what Nigel said, he was always a bit of an oddball. But the rumor is that he's a magician of some kind.
Well, sorry, Maestro, I must admit, but we did cause a bit of a ruckus at the gate. Well, I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago, world time, but
It would not be the first, nor the last. These are desperate times, and this one only need understand life outside the walls to recognize this as a haven compared to what awaits out there. But what are you here for then? Really? What do your gods tell you? We already have two who come bearing the word, claiming to bear the words of the gods. Will you seek a new temple then?
we simply seek to make the world a better place, and this was a place we could start, as we had some contacts here. Even with our gifts, we are like everyone else, starving and tired and without a home.
Yes, you and so many. He gestures at the Jotunkin. He says, "Do you know the story of them?"
I do not.
Jotunkin, their kind, they come from man-eating giants. At the dawn of all, that is where they originate. It is not a common practice now amongst them, but when times turn desperate, they can turn to darker appetites. It is why I work with them. I ensure that their community here, for however long they stay, is well fed and well cared for. They help in exchange, and, as with the lords, I help them and get a good. How much better could things be in here if we had hungry, man-eating Jotunkin running around? No?
True.
So, that is what I deem a better world for now. Something that prevents an evil that I know likely to outcome or to come. What is it you will do?
Well, we are just learning of this place and its troubles, its history. and making an effort to decipher which leader would bring the most good to this area. I think when given the chance, we would pick a side, but first we must evaluate.
One way to measure would be the most good, the quickest. One would be to measure the most good for the longest. And one would be the most good with the least evil.
So, sage advice.
I would not credit myself as a philosopher, but I do hope that I can make those measurements for myself and judge what I deem to be the best of those balanced factors.
Now, I must admit to another small deception.
Oh?
I was sick, as you saw, and did need your assistance, but I had hoped that being a healer, you would be wise, and by befriending you, I could share this. We have learned that Lord Blundell is still here in the city, and we had hoped to speak with him, as he would have great insight into the factions and the going-ons here.
Why don't you Alaric, why don't you give us a charm check? And Gita and Roland, you can each assist with this to reflect the fact that you guys were all sort of interacting with him. And Alaric, you're going to get a plus 20 with the state of the conversation that you've left Zorzi with. I think he's quite open to liking you at this point.
Yeah, we're trying to be legit.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh.
Unfortunately, you're just rolling to assist here.
Oh,
look at that, though, Alaric. Holy smokes!
Wow, roll 20.
Now the thing is, Gita and Roland, why don't you both roll your assist dice? Because if you roll 4, that's a critical success.
Oh, that's even technically better, right?
Yep.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, yeah, good work, David.
It's an impressive physique coming in, Gita.
Yeah.
No, it's Roland, I think.
Yeah, Roland.
Oh, it's Roland and Roland. Oh, sorry, I didn't even
Yeah.
see. Yeah, nicely done. I think so. He looks at back and forth for all of you, and
The physique is impressive, just so you know.
for you to judge.
That's not in doubt, but David rolled the credit.
Yeah. For you to judge the best route forward, perhaps knowing all sides would be beneficial. And he leans in, mindful, I guess, of... he sort of, looks up through his bushy eyebrows, looks up in the direction of where Lord Ivo is perched. And he says, I, of course, cannot lead you there. But Lord Blundell is in hiding here. And in the last place that they would think to look, amongst the Jotunkin.
Seems like a hiding place.
I am loyal to the Baron, to his true intentions, and I fear that this is not the Baron's doing for now. The Blundells have been allies of the Winters for generations, longer than when the stones of the temple were laid. It's said the Winters and Blundell. The Winters laid the first stone, but it was handed to them by the Blundells. This is an error on his part. More betrayers. What is your plans with him?
Well, we would hope to begin by speaking with him to see what his plans are and where he stands. Learn the history.
You say you did not pay the crow's bounty.
No.
That means you found a way in here.
We did.
Have you a way out?
We know of a way out.
Can we use the same way out? Do we?
They were let in by Valentine.
So we'd have to, like, we might have to sort of, we know there's guards there, essentially.
Yeah. Then
Valentine guards.
he puffs. Oh, and you saw it in the dark as well, too, so it would be... it might be a little bit of retracing steps to try and figure out where the actual entrance to the sewers is to lead out, and then to navigate along. He says, then, you know who could, I think, benefit from your advice? I would appreciate a second opinion. With your training differs from mine, so it would be good to have new eyes. There is a Jotunkin named Ulfgrim. If you go see him and speak to him, I think Ulfgrim could benefit from your assessment.
Fair.
Then
We haven't burned the bridge with Valentine yet, right?
No, we haven't technically burnt any bridges at this moment.
Okay.
the one with Nigel is just a little rickety right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bad roll involved.
Just checking. So it wouldn't be prudent then for Gita to say something bad about Valentine, know that we were being spied upon.
Yeah, it's unsure. So Valentine, the guy who is spying on you is part of the secret police. So he's part of Good Luck's shadows, I guess, as Master Zorzi put it. They are in service seemingly to the Baron. Valentine, from the way he presented it, who would you say Valentine is in service to, guys?
Himself.
Yeah, himself, the way he put it.
Pretty good assessment, yeah.
Yeah. We don't know who Nigel is. He sort of offered us a ticket to any of the factions we chose.
Nigel, yeah, he's a long-term friend of Farrakis.
And I'm just rereading the notes you put into the...
Oh, yeah, for the Discord. Yeah. So, Farrakis and Nigel go way back, but Farrakis also knew Valentine back in the day. Valentine was always, a troublemaker, and then Evie is just a, psychopath.
So the Baron's secret police then connected to the Crows, or they're just the Baron's?
The Baron, so Lady Goodluck apparently has some connection with the Crows, as does Lady Griselda Winter, the daughter. The Baron's daughter is a link. It's Father Ackerman Cobb. He's the head of the Cult of the Crow. He's the one who has been sort of elevated thanks to the efforts of Lady Goodluck and Lady Griselda.
Okay.
So, yeah, in a roundabout way, they are acting in part, although Ivo is an agent of Goodluck. So what Lord Ivo's ultimate, loyalties are, it may only be to Goodluck, it may also be to the same cult, or he may just like fucking spying and hurting on people.
Yeah. Okay.
So then, Meister Zorzi makes the big, there's a flourish of getting up once again. In this cold, it is hard to sit for so long. I should see there are many sick people who need assistance, and there is only so many days of... The days are so short now.
Yes.
Meister Stone, it is a pleasure to have made your acquaintance.
Yours as well.
I hope that we will see you again soon, and I look forward to hearing the insights you have on Ulfgrim's condition.
Ulfgrim, yes. Oh, okay. Ulfgrim.
Then, and Gita, Roland, a pleasure as well.
Yes, sir.
And he leans into you, Roland, and take care. Lord Ivo is not known for giving up prey. Like his namesake, he takes a bone and refuses to leave it.
I will briefly pat my crossbow. I've dealt with crows before.
Take care. There is the rumors of Lord Ivo's powers. There is no exaggeration. The man is privy to unnatural secrets. Then, come, Halbjorn, Moldov. And they kind of mutter and get up, and they begin dragging the thing. Good day to you three. Good day. I look forward to seeing you again.
You as well.
And they're heading off. So, with him leaving with the, the two Jotunkin, and him going along, so puffing away on his pipe, the three of you sort of get in together. There's probably a couple of people around here. It's not busy, per se, but it's not like this is an utter ghost town. This stretch of the caravan district. So, what do you guys say?
Is Ivo still there? Do we know?
You can give us an awareness check, please. Standard difficulty.
Not stealthing again?
I'll have to spend no, this is to see him. That's you needed awareness to spot him in the first place. That's what Roland did. Stealth is to avoid letting him know that you're looking. Yeah. So I did roll for him, but I didn't roll that good. So Gita, what you can see, and actually I'll edit the name of this thing. Lord Ivo is still up there, much better hidden now. Like, it'd be very hard to see him, and it's only like it's that like cinematic. You only see the lenses in his helmet reflect in the darkness, almost like a bird peering down on you. And Gita, because you rolled quite so well, I think you see he turns and seems to walk into a wall.
And is he gone then?
And gone.
Ivo was up there still. But he just walked into a wall and disappeared. Is that one of his magical skills? Perhaps?
Could be.
Who's got training? Oh, I think Alaric, you've got training in education, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a standard education check, please. Anyone else can roll education as well. It's just flip to fail if you're not trained in it. Let's see how Alaric does first here. So standard difficulty. Yeah.
Nice.
You know what? You've heard of theurgs that can work their the spells to be able to transpose. You'd have to be quite powerful in order to do that stuff. And if he's capable of that, think of what your companion Wolfstan did to you. Where he ruined your visions. Like, that's the kind of stuff that Theurgs can accomplish. So
we may not know if he's following us, but...
Well, it's also said that Theurgs can do all sorts of impossible things. They can spy on you using only their spirit. They can vanish from sight. They can make themselves appear as someone else.
So we appear to be alone now. Where do we want to start?
Well, speaking to this Jotunkin,
Yes.
Ulfgrim.
See if you can help with his
Yes.
diagnosis.
I believe that was a code for who to speak to, more than the condition that this Jotunkin will be suffering from.
Agreed. Hopefully, Ivo did not pick up on that.
Hopefully he could not hear everything, but it's hard to know what magics he can work. As a spy master, I'm sure.
If we see him again, do we want to put a quarrel through his skull? Or do we... Is that risking too much?
Have to be very certain that the quarrel hits and it sticks. Otherwise, you might be causing more problems than we can handle right now.
Yes.
Yes, that might not be a problem we can tackle. Okay. Well, let's go to the Jotunkin then, and see what we may see.
Okay.
Let's.
So it isn't long. It's maybe 10 minutes of wandering around to get to the Jotunkin camp, and it's impressive that it's almost like, from a distance, it looks like adults playing in a child's playground almost, because they're all twice as big as the structures are built to accommodate. So you can picture that there's just it's only the largest of the ruins that can even comfortably accommodate one or two of them and give them space without cramming themselves in uncomfortably into any of these buildings. They have managed to create some kinds of effectively like giant lean-tos by tearing roofs and such off of the ruined structures, ones that have not burned. But there's a lot of Jotunkin who are just sitting around, with large bonfires burning, sort of talking to one another. There's got to be maybe about 60 in total in the whole group. How do you guys go about trying to find Ulfgrim?
I think we want to be cautious with our entrance. Do they have guards? Do they have people, sort of at the gate? Because I think we could say that the Meister sent us to speak with Ulfgrim, but...
Okay. Sure. Why don't you give us...
Maybe just whoever, if we just walk close, I'm assuming maybe someone will approach us, who is, in charge of keeping an eye out or whatever.
I don't think they're super concerned about you guys hurting them. That's one of the things about the Jotunkin there. So mechanically, as you understand, all Jotunkin, whenever they suffer damage or an injury or whatever else, they make a toughness check, and if they succeed, they don't suffer that damage. They don't suffer that injury. They are extraordinarily fucking tough.
Right.
So they're not super concerned about humans going around. The thing you might want to worry about is accidentally getting hurt if one of them is not paying attention, or if they decide they don't like you.
Right.
But they're not really worried about you guys.
Okay, so then I guess we would just, look for someone who's actually looking at us or paying attention to us. If any of them are paying attention at all to us.
Okay.
I mean, I realize they're not afraid
There's
of us.
maybe
But they might
a
stop.
great big woman who is sitting down and sort of studying you as you are all walking up.
Greetings.
Hello. Are you lost, small one?
I don't think so. We're looking for a Jotunkin named Ulfgrim.
And what is your business with Ulfgrim?
The Meister sent me to speak with him. I am a fellow healer.
One of her big bushy eyebrows arcs up. Why don't you give me a charm check first? We'll give you a plus 20 because she does seem to be a little friendly, and you've dropped the Meister's name, who is well respected in this community. So charm at plus 20. You guys can likewise aid that as well, just by virtue of your presence.
No, you can't.
Which
You
is for the
can't
best.
aid that.
Yeah, they can. Because remember, you can sub the.
Oh, you can still aid a critical failure?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You can replace
I
that.
thought that was like you're done, or a sublime failure, or whatever.
No,
It's
no.
100 is the sublime.
100 is a
right.
sublime failure, yeah.
Right. This is only
So
critical.
39 or 49 are both successes. So then what you say is, what she looks at you and says, the healer sent you?
He did.
I can take you. Come. And she gestures, and it's a bit of a production of her getting up. And she, again, likewise, is twice the height of you, Gita. Even, come, take care where you walk. It can be dangerous here. I will watch out to avoid you being stepped on. And, they're not that big. She's just being, playful.
Yeah, totally.
So she turns and stomps along, and you guys navigate through. And I imagine for both Roland and Gita in particular, it has been a long time since you've been around so many people to feel like you're a child. And it's just again, these guys, they are twice your height and probably 4 to 5 times your weight because they are quite solid. But you're brought over, and what you can see leaning against the ruins of what looks like it was a building at one point, but there's sort of the corner of where 2 ruined walls meet. There's a big male Jotunkin who is lying down. I got a different image for you. There we go.
Oh, maybe he really is sick.
That is Ulfgrim. His axe lies leaning against the wall, which is huge. It looks like he's got a small tree with a giant blade attached to it, leaning against the wall. And he is lying down. Now, Alaric, why don't you give us a healing check? I think with your roll from before for your education, I'll let you know that Jotunkin, unlike some of the other things like the diamond, the dwarves, and the ice, the elves, they are unnatural things. So the elves don't get sick, for instance. They don't catch diseases or things like that. And I don't think that the diamond do either. They are mortal and they need to eat and whatnot, but I don't think they catch diseases. The Jotunkin do. They can get sick. They are mortal like humans are, or like Nephilim are. Give us a healing check, and I think I'll just make it standard to account for your unfamiliarity with the fact that you're neither very familiar or completely unfamiliar with illnesses among the Jotunkin.
Okay, sorry, what was the total?
Standard, please.
Oh, just
Standard healing check.
All right, here we go.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the pallor of this guy's skin, it's a little, it's definitely ruddier and quite different from humans, but even for Jotunkin, for having seen you sort of maybe look up at this big woman who brought you and look over at him, and he's a little flushed and perhaps a little clammy. So maybe he does have something. Yeah. And Ulfgrim looks and says, "Who are these you bring me?" And he looks at you. "I'm not hungry today."
Yes. Please don't eat us.
She, like, just, it's like an ear-splitting laughter. This is the funniest thing she has heard in days. And she turns and kind of stomps away.
Greetings, Ulfgrim. We were sent by a friend of yours.
Which friend of mine sent you?
The Meister.
Once again, that eyebrow. He doesn't have any eyebrows, but his brow sort of arcs up. The Meister sent you?
Yes.
And why?
I am also one of the healing profession. And he said I should speak with you to offer a second opinion.
Is that what he said? A second opinion?
Those were his words.
He looks over you guys, which doesn't take very much effort, even lying down. And he says, "It is my back. Look." And he rolls over onto the side. "It is my back. What did I do there?" You have to walk around him almost to get to the side.
Come around.
And what you see is where he was sitting. I mean, there is his you can see his back and whatnot too. But where he is sitting, he is concealing a trap door.
Yeah.
It seems that this place still has a basement. Do you see it?
Yes, I can see it, I believe.
Well,
let me take a closer look, and I'll sort of indicate to my companions to sort of,
yeah, if you guys walk around the side, you see exactly the same thing. There is a trap door with a thing there.
Yeah.
And like from where he's lying, he's probably about 4 feet wide at the center. So you have to hunch down to walk, like, to be concealed behind him. But he's on one side, the ruined wall is on the other, and there's not really anything else to see in. So you could pretty much access that trap door by hunching down without anyone seeing. You want to hear fortune point that?
Yeah. Can you just double check into making sure we weren't?
Yeah.
I know, not close, but
okay. Okay.
Because
so you're looking around.
I was persistent right here.
Most definitely. And it is hard to spot Gita, but you can just tell there is a one tower or one what likely was a staircase that would lead up into a bigger building on the side. The bigger building itself has collapsed down. The tower that once had the staircase is mostly collapsed, so it's too small for any Jotunkin to reach in there. But within those shadows, very briefly, I think you can just make out the bare outline of Lord Ivo once again. Maybe you can just see that mask. He is probably about 80 strides away, and he certainly doesn't have, where this trapdoor is concealed is he will not have an angle on it.
Right, but if we all just disappear, it'll be obvious there's something here. So she's like, crows in the distance.
Right.
And then she is facing away from that, so you can't read her lips. She'll be like, crows in the distance, and, it's that tower, the corner. I don't know if we should go down there just yet.
So then I would say, yes, Ulfgrim, this is why we came. However, the eyes of the city seem to be upon us at the moment, and we would not want to betray anything.
Oh, if you guys get out of the way, he leans back and lies down. Well, my back is not getting better soon.
I can see that. It is quite a bad injury.
With medicine, perhaps you could check back tonight.
Yes, why don't I prepare some medicines for you, and we will return.
That would help. And tell the Meister if you see him. It is not better, but it is safe. And he leans back. Oh. So, what do you guys wish to do? He has concealed the trapdoor once again with his bulk.
Yeah.
Do we need to like circle, leave this place, and then try to sneak back in?
Yeah, or really try and lose him by. Yeah. We need to come up with this. Why don't we go to a tavern or something just to have a sit down? We don't even have any pocket change, do we?
Not without like the patronage is sort of limited to where the patron actually has influence, and you didn't think to grab any pocket change from Nigel.
Yeah.
So,
what about Valentine?
If you call in Valentine, I mean, he certainly could. There was a tavern on the edge of the caravan district near the market district called the Plum that he said to go and meet his man at. But I think that was...
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we tell Valentine that we need to try and shake this Ivo in order to get Valentine's information done? We can't do anything for Valentine anyways with this Ivo fall.
Right, exactly.
Maybe Valentine will help us
lose him.
Distract Ivo or lose him, and then we can do whatever we want, whether we want to come back here or we want to do something for Valentine, or wouldn't be really a deception. It's really true. We can't do anything with Ivo watching us.
So think of this from his perspective. If the said to be sorcerer lieutenant of the secret police is following you guys, do you think it's going to help you to go back to Valentine and tell him that that's what's happening?
No, maybe that's not a good play, because then we are now effectively useless and going to get him in trouble.
I will mention, the last time you met with Ivo, you had 6 crossbows trained on your allies, and there were 6 more in backup, plus Valentine himself and Evie. So...
Well, if we wanted to expose Valentine, we could also do it just for fun.
Yeah, you could do that.
We could ask his lackey for a distraction or something, or without specifying or mentioning Lord Ivo.
You guys have not made any effort to shake Lord Ivo yet.
No, so that's true. We haven't.
All you guys have done is you haven't told me that you're trying to pursue him, so you have not tried that yet. You are certainly able to try that if you like.
Yeah, I think we should before we...
He seems to like hiding in high places. Could we try and shake him underground? Get rid of him through the sewers?
Well, and thus far, you guys have traveled largely in the open, and there's not an awful, he is quite far away, so it's unlikely, unless there is some kind of magic he can use to listen in, it's not clear whether he would even hear what you guys are talking about or be able to see. So he may have some magical way to kind of move around the city, but just because you know that certain spellcasters are capable of certain things doesn't necessarily mean they are, right?
Right.
I will say this is also one of the suggestions in Blackbirds for players is that if you're not playing a spellcaster, to not read the spell section. I think that's fucking great advice. because this is
I
so
don't
much
know
cooler.
any of the spells. I have no
I don't know any of
idea.
the spells either.
Yeah.
We followed that advice.
It just makes for a much more interesting where you don't know what they're capable of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we go somewhere busy, like an open market, where there's going to be like stalls and potentially little roofs and stuff like that. Even if it's not consistent, we could like dart from place to place.
Okay.
Maybe not a market, but market. Some places
Yeah.
would be lots of people.
Yeah.
And if we split up or get lost, we meet back at a place near the Jotun or the Jotunkin encampment.
Okay. So
Is there something identifiable near the Jotunkin encampment that we can?
yeah, whatever. I mean, it's a fairly big place, so there could be a specific ruined building that you're, situating yourself to.
Sure.
Okay. So then I think, guys, that's what we'll be doing on Friday, because
Nice.
we've unfortunately run out of time. So first off, you guys each get 2 RP for today.
Awesome.
And we've got 1 extra to go. Who do we think is getting the extra point for today?
Alaric for his nice chat with my Maester Zorsi.
Yeah.
There we go.
Solid
So
roll.
get an extra one, Alaric.
Sweet.
Perfect. Then, for those listening at home, so one thing I forgot to do at the outset again, too, a reminder that we have the author of Blackbirds, Ryan Vernier, has very generously donated 5 sets of Gen Con exclusive Blackbirds dice that we're going to be giving away at the end of the Blackbirds of Yule event. So if the way that you get that, I see someone did that in chat already, but if you share your concept of a Blackbird in chat, and or in the description of this video before New Year's Eve North American time, then you will each time you do that, you get 1 chance to win the one of the sets of dice. So I know Dave has shared a couple as well too. Players are certainly free to enter as well. The dice look super fucking cool, so it's a good prize. And for each session in chat and each session in on the description of the video, you can enter once. So I think there's 7 sessions of this total. You have a total possibility of 14 chances. I'm going to be creating a random encounter table, and rolling on that to determine who wins the dice. So lots of opportunities. Just put down what ancestry, what path, and a little blurb about your character. That's enough to get yourself entered into the draw. I will also say thank you so much for joining us. As is always the case as well, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or the holiday event, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also find a link down below in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to the Powered by Zweihander games we run on the channel, so Blackbirds and Flames of Freedom, as well as channels dedicated to every other game we run in a campaign on the channel, as well as a bunch of other stuff like finding a group, and there's just a ton of great opportunities for conversation with a great community of people. So you are more than welcome to join us over in the Dungeon Musings Discord server. I saw some chatter going on about the Dungeon 23 event. There's a bunch of people who are going to be taking part in that in 2023. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Now, I need to get an updated code for it, but Noble Knight Games is the preeminent retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America, the preeminent unionized store for hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. Not only do they have an amazing selection of role-playing games, board games, and card games, they also have an unparalleled selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including... not including. There's a ton of stuff. I filled a bunch of collections with that. I have some. Actually, I have something I couldn't track down otherwise for the Dishonored RPG that's going to be showing up shortly. And if you listen to this in the new year, we will have a new code for you to share at checkout to enter to save yourself 10% on purchase. I don't have that right now, so the one that's listed down below won't work, but come back in the new year and we'll hopefully have a new code for you to share. or to use. And then we also have a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, and all donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned kids who benefit from their activities, including ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding countries. There is also, as a small way of saying thank you, for every $25 Canadian that you donated since June 15, 2022, you'll get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. The next charity raffle will be at the end of January 2023, and the grand prize is going to be a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Platinum Edition Spelljammer Adventures in Space, and I've got my copy up here. I am going to be doing an unboxing of that. Maybe I'll do that on New Year's Day, just so I got a date set for that. New Year's Day, I'll do an unboxing of my copy of that, so you can see what the grand prize winners will get. But there are also going to be a ton of other great prizes, including Dave is our resident walker of the path of craft and expertise. And he has very generously donated a chainmail dice bag as one of the prizes, as well as we got a bunch of stuff from the Dungeon Musings Redbubble shop. So there's a ton of great gaming stuff you can win, and you can help out some kids who could really use some help. So it's a win-win on both fronts. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart flock of Blackbirds. So David, Jeffrey, and Dave, thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. This is a fun RP-heavy session.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I didn't try to kill you with anything yet. I'll make up for try and kill you twice next time. All right, then. So for those listening at home, this is Chapter 4. Chapter 5, I believe next chapter's on Friday, isn't it?
That sounds correct, yes.
Yeah, so next we'll be back on Friday night. If you want to see the schedule for the Blackbirds of Yule event, it's posted to the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel, as well as the main channel of the Dungeon Musings Discord server. So you can find the schedule for if you want to join in live for the other Blackbirds of Yule sessions. Otherwise, we hope that we gave you a couple of hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our Blackbirds are uncovering in the streets of Culwardine. It seems there is more and more going on in this city. Then, for those listening at home, we will be back on Friday. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.
See ya.